Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. O'Neill again, and I'm going to show you something else, another way that we can use frames and arrows. So in the previous video, I gave you a rule, and I might have said add to, and then I gave you some numbers in the frames, and you use the arrows and the rule to figure out the missing numbers. Well, that was great. I'm sure you did a great job with that. This time I'm going to leave out some different information. So this time I might do something like maybe I'll start with these three numbers. So I have 2, 5, and 8. And this time I'm not going to give you the rule. That's something that you're going to have to figure out. So you're going to figure out what the rule is, and then you're going to use that rule to extend the rest of the pattern. So when I take a look at these numbers, 2, 5, and 8, the first thing I notice is that my pattern is growing, that the numbers are getting larger in the pattern. So I know that that is going to continue, whatever the rule may be. And so that means that I know I'm going to be adding. I'm going to add. So the question is now to figure out how much I add to each number. So I'm going to start here in my first frame, and I could use my number line. So I could start at 2, and then I could hop to the next number, which is 5, and figure out how many hops I make. So let's do that. I could say 1, 2, 3. And I counted on from 2, 3 more, and landed on 5. So I added 3. So I know that 2 plus 3 makes 5. Now let's see if that continues, and that's correct for the next one. 5, 1, 2, 3. I land on 8, so that means I added 3 again. So my rule would be add 3. Another way I could do this is I could make 2 circles, and then I could draw more circles until I figured out until I got to 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would see that I added 3 circles. Now I have 5. Add 1, 2, 3, and that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could draw a picture. I could also think about maybe a missing addend. If I have 2, what do I add to 2 to get 5? Maybe I could count up 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know that I added 3. So I would continue and figure out 8, 1, 2, 3. My next number would be 11. 1, 2, 3, 14. And see if you can look at my number line and add 3. Can you call out to the computer or your iPad what the next number will be? If I add 3 to 14, 1, 2, 3, I land at 17. All right, another example I can show you. I'm going to start this time at the number 20. And I'm going to write in 3 numbers. So I have 20, 18, and 16. So the first thing that I notice is that the numbers are getting smaller. It's a shrinking pattern. So what is going to make those numbers get smaller? That tells me that I'm going to subtract. So my rule is going to involve subtraction. So I can go up to my number line and figure out, if I start at 20, how much did I subtract to land at 18? So what's the difference between 20 and 18? So I'm going to hop back until I get to 18. 1, 2. And I subtracted 2 from 20. So I think that's my rule, but I'm going to check. I'm going to start at 18 and subtract 2. And let's see if I land at 16. Here we go. 1, 2. Yes. So my rule is subtract 2. I'm going to write that in. So you can see there can be some missing numbers. There could be a missing rule. I could have a missing rule and missing numbers, all kinds of interesting things. And you can go ahead maybe in your head and see what the next number would be if I subtract 2 from 16. If you did that, you probably landed on 14. I subtract 2, land at 12, and finally 12 minus 2 is 10. So you're going to try some frames and arrows now where there'll only be a couple of numbers in the frames and you have to figure out the rule. Remember, you can use your number line, you can draw a picture, you could make a subtraction problem or an addition problem, any tool that will help you determine the missing numbers.